For years now, the Tampa Bay Rays have done more with less, turning lesser-known ball players into title contenders. This is especially true at the bullpen. Veterans past their prime, failed top prospects, and injured arms have all found refuge under the dome of Tropicana Field, and put up career-changing numbers as a result. Here's a look at some of their greatest success stories. This is the Baseball Time Machine. Joaquin Benoit had hit rock bottom. A poor 2008 campaign ended with a torn rotator cuff, causing him to miss the final month of the year and all of 2009. The Rangers cut him in November, forcing him to search for a new home. Given his injury history and only one true season of success, he settled on a one-year minor league deal with the Rays. Serving as Rafael Soriano's setup man, Benoit thrived in Tampa, posting a 1.34 ERA with 25 holds and 63 appearances. In addition to his ERA being the best among all relievers in the American League, he led the league's relief corps with a 147 batting average against. It was by far the best Joaquin had ever pitched. To make it even more impressive, he began the year with AAA Durham and wasn't called up until the end of April. In the postseason, Benoit was just as dominant, tossing 3 2/3 perfect innings in the ALDS against his former team. Although the Rays would fall in 5 games to the eventual American League champs, Benoit ended the season a winner, pitching well enough to ink a 3-year, $16.5 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. He served as a solid reliever for the remainder of his career, but might be most remembered for the home run he served up to David Ortiz in the 2013 ALCS. Nonetheless, Joaquin Benoit's one-year stint with the Rays rescued his career and gave him a fresh start in baseball. You can't mention the setup man without talking about the closer. Rafael Soriano never really struggled with the Atlanta Braves, but battled an elbow injury in 2008 that limited him to only 14 games. He bounced back with a career-high 77 appearances in 2009, recording 27 saves and 102 Ks. The Braves were on a budget and could no longer afford Soriano's arm long-term, forcing them to trade him to the Rays. It couldn't have gone better for the 30-year-old, who recorded an AL best 45 saves with an ERA under 2. He was selected to the All-Star game for the first and only time in his career, and took home some hardware as well, winning American League Reliever of the Year. He struggled in the ALDS versus Texas, but had done enough in the regular season to get himself a bag after season's end. He jumped ship to another AL East club, the Yankees, on a 3-year, $35 million agreement. With a certain Sandman closing games in the Bronx, Soriano settled for the setup role. He struggled in 2011, but got his opportunity to close games the following year when Mariano Rivera went down with a torn ACL. He definitely appeared more comfortable closing, recording 42 saves and bringing his ERA back down to 2.26. He recorded 30-plus saves each year from 2012 to 14 before retiring after the 2015 campaign, but 2010 in Tampa stands out as his most dominant stint as a closing pitcher. Fernando Rodney recorded 37 saves for Detroit in 2009, but was far from elite. Injuries plagued him in 2011 with the Angels, limiting him to only 32 innings. After posting 5 consecutive seasons with an ERA over 4, Rodney joined Tampa Bay in the spring on a 1-year, $2 million contract. When Kyle Farnsworth began the season on the disabled list, Fernando assumed the closer role and posted one of the greatest seasons you'll ever see from a reliever. He recorded 48 saves, finishing the season with 19 straight scoreless appearances. He allowed only 5 earned runs all year, posting a .60 ERA to best Dennis Eckersley's 1990 record for lowest ever by a reliever. Not only did he earn himself a trip to the All-Star game, but won AL Comeback Player of the Year. Rodney received Cy Young and MVP votes as well, uncommon for most relief pitchers. By ERA+, his 2012 campaign ranks as the 3rd best season all time by a pitcher, only trailing Zach Britton's 2016 and Emmanuel Clase's 2024. Rodney wasn't as sharp the following year, but still saved 37 games while keeping a respectable 3.38 ERA. He cashed in on the 2 strong seasons in Tampa, signing a deal with the Seattle Mariners. He would return to the Midsummer Classic twice more, and won a World Series with the Nats in 2019, but was never able to display the same dominance he showed in 2012 with the Rays. Brad Boxberger was a secondary piece acquired by the Rays in the 7-player trade made to San Diego in January 2014. A former first-round pick, Boxberger had quietly posted some quality numbers out west, and would bring that same energy to Tampa. He spent 2014 in middle relief, recording 19 holds, but took over the closer role in 2015 with Jake McGee still recovering from elbow surgery. In the team's time of need, Box stepped up, recording an AL best 41 saves. He didn't necessarily pitch as well as he had the previous 3 seasons, but entering the year with only 3 career saves, he did a great job in the new spot. Brad Boxberger was selected to his lone All-Star game that year, and would fall back into middle relief after the season, with Alex Colomé taking over as closer. Following a trade to Arizona, Boxberger pitched 6 more years of mediocre baseball, highlighted by a 32-save 2018 with the D-backs. The effort he made to succeed in a role he lacked experience in has made his 2015 one of the most memorable Rays relief seasons. Best remembered as an all-star closer for 3 World Series champion Giants teams, Sergio Romo had fallen on hard times in 2017. After signing a 1-year deal with the rival Dodgers, the floundering Romo was DFA'd by LA and traded to the Rays for cash just 2 days later. He would no longer be closing, but the change of scenery to the other side of the country paid dividends for the veteran arm. Sergio shined with the Rays, pitching to a 1.47 ERA in just over 30 innings, with opponents hitting only 178 against him. His strong performance earned him another year in Tampa, where he played a part on both ends of Kevin Cash's fresh opener strategy. The goal of the opener was to cover the 5th spot in the Rays' rotation, opening the game with a reliever followed by a bulk guy who would pitch ideally 3 to 5 innings. Ryne made a name for himself as the common bulk guy on opener days. Following 588 career relief appearances, Sergio Romo finally made his first career start, carrying the side in a perfect first inning versus the Angels. He'd make 4 more starts that year as the Rays experienced success in this strategy. Whether the changing game plan had anything to do with it or not, Romo came back down to earth in 2018 as an average pitcher. However, with Alex Colomé getting traded to Seattle in May, he was able to return to the closer role and record 25 saves, his most since 2013. Romo took his talents to South Beach for the 2019 season and would continue to pitch through 2022, but the Rays can be credited with giving his career a bit of a spark. When you think about the opener, Ryan Stanek has to come to mind. 17 different pitchers started at least one game for the Rays in 2018. Stanek, a relief pitcher, started 29 games, the second most on the team. Those starts were clearly Cash's strategy at work, as Ryan never tossed more than 2 innings in an outing. It proved to be effective, with more wins coming in Stanek's starts than someone like Chris Archer's. The opener received national attention, with teams joining in on the idea and Stanek being a prominent face of the method. His role as opener carried over into 2019, as he started 27 games in just the first half for the Rays before being traded to Miami at the deadline for relievers Nick Anderson and Trevor Richards. It's worth noting that Anderson himself experienced great success in Tampa, pitching to a 1.85 ERA in 3 seasons with the Rays. As for Stanek, he's yet to start another game since being traded, but did have an incredible 2022, which has since surpassed 2018 as the best season of his career and peaked with a World Series title in Houston. Collin McHugh had a great 2018, transitioning from the rotation to the bullpen and establishing himself as one of the game's best swingmen. However, 2019 brought elbow troubles that cut his appearances almost in half and caused his ERA to balloon to 4.70. He opted out of the 2020 COVID season, despite signing a deal with the Red Sox. A free agent again, McHugh took a deal with the Rays, who specialize in making pitchers like him elite. 2021 was a bizarre season pitching-wise for Tampa Bay, but that's how they prefer it. Only 4 pitchers logged over 100 innings pitched, with 3 of them recording ERAs over 5, the lone arm under that mark being rookie Shane McClanahan. McHugh flourished with his new team, going 6-1 with a 1.55 ERA in 64 innings. It was the perfect storm, as the most valuable offense in baseball, and Kevin Cash's stable of guys who throw 98 helped lead them to a 162 record, best in the American League. Unconventional pitcher usage carried over into the postseason, where McHugh and the Rays faltered, falling to Boston in the division series. Following their elimination, Collin McHugh went home to his native Atlanta Braves, where he pitched 2 more seasons before announcing his retirement after the 2023 campaign. Perhaps one of the lesser-known names on our journey, JP Feyereisen was acquired with Drew Rasmussen in the trade that sent shortstop Willy Adames to Milwaukee. He didn't look to be anything special until he got to Tampa, where he quickly became one of the most reliable relievers. JP tossed just short of 37 innings down the stretch in 2021, helping the Rays claim the AL East. 2021 was kind to Feyereisen, but 2022 would be even better. He allowed only 1 run in 24 1/3 innings. That run was unearned, giving him a 0 ERA on the year. It was a dream season until nightmares struck in early June, when he was shut down with shoulder pain. He missed the remainder of the season, not getting surgery until December. Less than a month later, he was designated for assignment upon the Rays' signing of starter Zach Eflin. Out of a roster spot, Feyereisen was traded to the Dodgers for peanuts. He missed all of 2023 as he healed from the injury, making his Dodgers debut in Korea versus the Padres. JP struggled mightily in his return to the Bigs, posting an 8.18 ERA in 10 appearances, spending most of 2024 in the minors. He wasn't much better in AAA, and his future in baseball appears unknown, but the way he pitched for the Rays in 21 and 22 gives you hope that he'll channel that ability again someday. Jason Adam was playing some of the worst baseball of his career in Chicago. With an ERA over 8 in 9 appearances, he was sent down to AAA Iowa in search of a reset. Shagging fly balls before a game, Adam suffered a freak and gruesome injury, fracturing and dislocating his ankle. Remarkably, Jason Adam made a full recovery and returned to the Bigs before season's end, finishing with 3 scoreless outings. Despite returning and posting positive results, the season still ended with poor overall numbers for Adam. Now a free agent, the 29-year-old needed a new home. There was no better place to turn his career around than Tampa, the land of opportunity for relievers who lost their way. He remained healthy in 2022 and was outstanding, leading all Rays relief pitchers in several key categories. The closer role was shared, with 6 different arms receiving at least 8 save opportunities, but it was Adam who shared the team lead of 8 saves with Pete Fairbanks. He gained so much attention from this lights-out campaign that he was selected to represent Team USA at the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Jason Adam had another great season for the Rays, but missed the last month of the season as well as the postseason with an injury. When in good physical condition, you can count on Adam as a reliable hurler. He pitched well above average as Tampa Bay's setup man. With the Rays in 4th place at the 2024 trade deadline, they decided to unload several top players, including Adam. He was dealt to the San Diego Padres in exchange for 3 prospects. Jason Adam was unstoppable in relief out west, producing a 1.01 ERA and over 26 innings of work down the stretch. It can be hard to replace that kind of steady production, but if any team can do it, it's the Rays. At age 36, 11-year veteran Jake Diekman was struggling mightily with the Chicago White Sox, to the point that he was released in early May of the 2023 season. 4 days later, the Tampa Bay Rays picked him up, hoping to channel anything he had left in the tank. Throughout his career, he'd been a mostly reliable arm and a lefty specialist, with his arm slot giving left-handed hitters all kinds of trouble. Diekman and the Rays were a match made in heaven, with the southpaw producing arguably the most overpowering season of his lengthy career. Opponents only hit 166 against him in 45 1/3 innings, his lowest opponent batting average given that high of a workload. His 2.18 ERA only trailed Shawn Armstrong for best on the team. Diekman tossed a scoreless inning in the wildcard series, putting a bow on his time in Tampa. Regression returned after inking a 1-year deal with the Mets, and he was released in August following 43 appearances that were largely lackluster. Now almost 38 years old, it appears Jake Diekman's career may be coming to an end. But for a moment, the Tampa Bay Rays revived his baseball life, giving him maybe the best season he ever had. Robert Stephenson had struggled as a starting pitcher early on in his career, but once the Colorado Rockies put him in the bullpen, he began to show flashes of being a valuable arm. Claimed off waivers by Pittsburgh, Stephenson never seemed comfortable, but the Rays saw something they liked and traded for him in June 2023. The stars aligned, and Bob Steve was able to play his best baseball with Tampa. In 42 appearances out of the bullpen, Stephenson posted a 2.35 ERA, walking only 8 batters while fanning 60. He was able to parlay his success into a 3-year contract with the pitching-hungry Angels. In classic Angels fashion, Robert Stephenson missed the entire 2024 season with an elbow injury, and therefore is yet to debut for the team. Flash in the pan or not, the Rays added further proof that they could put any hurler on the league's radar. A tandem of bullpen arms broke out for the Rays in 2024. Edwin Uceta was signed by the Dodgers at 16 years old out of the Dominican Republic. Although he pitched relatively well throughout the minors, he struggled mightily upon his big league debut in 2021. From LA, he bounced around waivers, spending time with the Diamondbacks, Tigers, Pirates, Mets, and Cubs organizations before getting signed by the Rays in December 2023. Uceta debuted with the team in May, but his true call to action came following trades of Jason Adam, Shawn Armstrong, and Phil Maton. He stepped up and was tremendous in 30 games, striking out 57 and going 5 for 5 on saves after closer Pete Fairbanks was lost for the season due to injury. Also making a name for himself was Manuel Rodriguez, who the Rays added in 2023 after 2 subpar seasons on the north side of Chicago. Manny came in hot, recording a 1.88 ERA in his first 25 appearances following his team debut in 2024. He finished as hot as he started, allowing only 2 earned runs over his final 10 innings pitched. The 2 fresh faces impressed not only their manager, but their veteran teammates. With both being under team control until 2029, the Rays have plenty of runway to work with in continuing Uceta and Rodriguez's development. It's important to mention the coaching staffs and analytics teams that have helped develop and transform these pitchers over the last 15 years. Although personnel might change, it seems the Rays are always able to turn nothing into something. They continue to make themselves synonymous with player development, especially when it comes to pitching. What they've done to maintain a consistently elite bullpen is truly magical. This has been the Baseball Time Machine. Thanks for traveling with us.